Welcome everyone to the continued series of videos talking about logical statements. In the last video we talked about basic if statement and nested if statements. Now in that position, in that particular sheet, we had focused only on one column that was talking about rating. But now we are going to take one notch above the existing problem that's there in sheet 2. In sheet 2 the data remains same, the question differs, wherein I might be looking not just at rating to decide any verdict, any message, but also maybe salary and division simultaneously along with it. So this time the question exists, I want to get hold of those cases where the rating is 1, 2, 3, division being CDFD, and salary greater than 25,000 because they have to be nominated for an international training. And hence the message should go out appropriately against those cases. For those cases which are not falling under these circumstances, under these cases, they would be left with a message blank, no message. So for example, had this been a case wherein the first person was CDFD and the rating would have either been 1, 2 or 3, a message saying international training should have been there. And for those who are not falling under that category, no message. Now how do I do that? Let me press Ctrl Z to go back to the previous data set. Now please notice carefully, this time these three criterias must be met simultaneously. That is, it has to be rating 1, 2, 3, has to be division CDFD at the same time, and at the same time salary must exceed $25,000. That's the cutoff. Now how do I include three simultaneous questions easily in my logical decision making? Now if I type in if, it asks for only one parameter, one question at a time, logical test, but this time I need to ask three questions simultaneously. So how to simplify it? To do that, I will take the help of something called formula AND. How does AND work? Let me show it to you. So AND, bracket open. Now if you notice carefully, the hints tell you that it asks for logics. So it is nothing but logical tests. You can ask different questions all simultaneously, and if all the questions are met, all the conditions are met, only then you will be getting the verdict true. Let me show it to you. So first question being, is the salary greater than $25,000, comma, the parameter says logic 2. Please go ahead with the second question. The second question being, is the division exactly equal to CDFD? It's not case sensitive, but it has to be put inside double quotation since it's a text. As I press comma, the logic 3 activates, which means you can go ahead and ask the third question. The third question being, is the rating less than 4? Less than 4 indicate 1, 2, 3, all the three of them covered. No more questions to ask, hence I close the brackets and I press enter. Now since not all the conditions are met simultaneously, hence false. Just for an example's sake, if you turn this to CDFD, you'll notice it comes as true. Salary condition met, division condition met, and so does the rating condition. Let me press Ctrl Z. Let me double click. So you'll notice one amongst them, yes, true. So salary benchmark, division, and rating, of course. Now again, I don't want this word true and false. This was just to club all these questions together under the umbrella of AND, so that if all conditions are met simultaneously, only and only then they become eligible. But this was not the final objective. Final objective was to get the message saying international training, onshore training. So how do I do that? And if you connect the dots, these three questions which I could not have asked individually at the same time under logical test has now been clubbed and hence can be put inside this parameter of if statement, that's logical test. Now this becomes one single entity, one single question. So I carefully place an if statement just before the AND. Why? Because this now takes the place of the logical test, a singular entity. Once I put the comma carefully, it allows me to say, what if this condition is met and all of them are true? in which case the message going out should be international training. They are eligible for international training assignment. After that finishes, let me put a comma so that I can go to the third part. Now in this case I did not want any message to be displayed, so let me put in double quotation twice, which indicates nothing, simply blank. So this becomes my integrated logical test. If I were to map this with if statement, this becomes what if the questions are all correct or true, and what if it is false. Let me double click at the bottom right of the cell. So you notice lot many people are not getting the assignment, but yes, some of them. Let me again magnify that. What if I told you that if I replace this and with or, the meaning changes completely. It says if the salary exceeds $25,000, or if you're belonging to division CDFD, or if your rating is less than 4, or any combination of these three, you would be eligible for international training. Now take a wild guess. Will the cases for international training exceed or be lower than what it is existing right now? Yes, it will exceed, because this time the conditions are very simple. If you satisfy even one condition, you are eligible. The first one, even though he is not belonging to division CDFD, he is allowed to go because rating 3, and also at the same time his salary is greater than $25,000. Double click. So you'll notice almost all of them are filling the criteria. Now you'll notice also one exception which says one person getting less than $25,000 is not belonging to division CDFD, at the same time rating is bad, so hence he's out of the purview. Let me again magnify this, because this time I'll take this learnings and put in the next case study, which says if you are rating 5 or if you belong to HFD, you need a basic training once again. It may so happen rating 5, which is bad, so you have to go back to square one to learn the techniques of the trade, or if you're belonging to division HFD, in which the technology might have changed drastically, for which the entire set of people must have a renewed training, basic training. So I say first, or the division is this equal to HFD, comma, next question, or is the rating exactly equal to 5? Either of these two conditions met and the answer should be out in terms of true. But hey, I wanted the message saying basic training, so I say let's put an if just before the or, which means you are putting this or statement or formula under the umbrella of logical test, singular entity. Once that thing happens, let me put a comma. Value if true, that should be a basic training. If not so, let me keep quiet by putting double quotation twice, closing the brackets. So this is the singular question, value if true, and if it is false, what to do. Double click. Alright, so let's take this example. Why is he been asked to do the training? Because his rating is 5, which is bad. So there you go. The usage of if along with and along with or, very important formulas for making automated decisions in Excel. We'll talk more about the case studies in the sheet 3 and 4 in the subsequent videos. Thank you.